This is funny. Check this out. So it says CNBC tweets have been a contrarian Bitcoin price indicator with 95% accuracy. So in a nutshell, whatever the hell CNBC is telling you to do the absolute opposite. So they had their most famous thing right here where they had a thing where they were telling people how to buy Ripple, and people were laughing because the video that came out was telling you how to buy, but at the time of making the video, Ripple was at around $3, and then later they came out with a video showing you how you can sell Ripple, and at that point it was below $1. So basically people were making fun of them, like buy high, sell low. So if you come over here and you have a look at the chart, somebody actually broke it down, and they did all the positive comments that came out from CNBC and all the negative comments that came out from CNBC. And with a 95% chance, every time they came out with positive news, something bad happened. And every time they came out with negative news, something positive happened. So lesson to be learned here, just whatever CNBC does, do the complete opposite. You have Scott Snaith, he's the owner, and his accounts were frozen by HSBC and Barclays just hours after he conducted a 5-figure Bitcoin transaction via localbitcoins.com, in which he sold Bitcoin for fiat currency, then deposited that into his personal bank account. It didn't even go into his company's account. And then he says his 2 personal bank accounts and his business account were frozen for using the Bitcoin trading site. So he said no unlawful activity has taken place, but just because the word Bitcoin was mentioned, my accounts were locked instantly. But that's the thing. If we're going to be going back and forth between Bitcoin to fiat and fiat to Bitcoin, understand that there's going to be a trade that happens. There's going to be a transaction that happens, right? I mean, at some point, if I want to cash out my Bitcoin into fiat, I have to trade it somewhere, and maybe I don't want to pay the Coinbase fees. So I'm using local Bitcoins. So this is ridiculous. He says, to me, this is a clear case of the high street banks abusing their power. It is not a criminal matter, but a personal corporate decision that someone has made in my mind that's wholly wrong, and I'm sure there are many other victims that are even less fortunate than myself. So what do you guys think? What's your opinion on this? I mean, technically, the banks do have the right to do whatever they want to freeze your accounts, right? And that's the problem. That's the issue. You know, with crypto, we're worried about people coming in and stealing your money. We're worrying about phishing links and security and hacks. But with the banks, we literally give them permission to do whatever they want. And then things like this happen. So they said that while HSBC has reinstated his account, Barclays maintained the freeze, so he stated, I'll never be able to bank with Barclays again. I'm a professional business owner taking advantage of a new financial technology, and it looks like the banks are failing to keep up with their customers' habits. We are the ones being punished. The banks are deliberately creating obstacles. They are anti-digital currency and displaying a new form of financial discrimination. So there you have it. Banks just at it again. And finally, just to end on kind of a silly note today, so Bill Cosby, it says, desperate to salvage what's left of his $500 million fortune, Bill Cosby is apparently converting his cash into virtual currency so he can keep it away from his creditors, the government, and long-suffering wife Camille, according to Radar Online. So it says he's moved about $5 million into Bitcoin after an expert told him it's practically untraceable and impossible for anybody but him to retrieve. The expert said it couldn't be taken in divorce, bankruptcy, or by the government in any liens. So there you go. I mean, it's not 100% impossible to retrieve. However, if he's intelligent enough, sure. I mean, if you can store the seed phrase maybe in your mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember the 12 word, don't have anything on paper, don't have any private keys. That's kind of like what Andreas Antonopoulos sort of does. You know, he like remembers the phrases so that basically the Bitcoins are in his mind, right? So if they take these routes, possibly, I just think that's kind of funny that he's deciding to do that, getting into Bitcoin. However, on the one hand, you do have him kind of promoting the negative side of Bitcoin, right?